The Nets in sole possession of first place in the East. This is the first time since 2003. Matt, do we know anyone who was on that team?
Hey, RJ used to be a high flyer, man. You guys may want to act funny with them now, but RJ helped a lot of people.
Let's be honest. People acted funny with RJ back then, too.
Yeah, they did. They didn't care. They don't care about me. Look at that. Sole possession, man. Proud of them guys, man.
Right, but I mean, it's been that long since the Nets were in first in the East.
And they've had a lot of quality players there, so.
But no one who could match up to you, Richard, until now.
League.
It's a make or miss league.
Make. Miss.
It's a make or miss league.
Thank you, Zion. Make denials. Aaron Gordon's game was on full display last night. 14 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. Matt, is this fit in Denver even better than we thought it would be?
Great pickup, and he has a defensive mindset now. And I think if they're able to keep him and Michael Porter together with that core on the wings, two-way threats, Denver's going to be scary for years to come.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and look, Porter only has to be an okay defender as long as Aaron Gordon takes up this type of defense. And now, all of a sudden, they're like this crazy 1-2 punch on the wing that could be a problem.
Starting lineups in the game.
Yeah.
And look, there's other big contenders in the West. Some of them are going strong, but some of them not so much with the injuries. All right, Miss Logic. Check out this move by Kyrie and then the smooth floater with. It is technically his offhand, but Kyrie Irving has no offhand, people.
Hey, he's arguably the most skilled point guard, but maybe player we've ever seen.
Okay, so Rod Strickland, who is obviously biased, it's his godfather, made that case. He said he is the most skilled player he has ever seen.
I would definitely agree.
Yeah, and a lot of it is his handle, then his ability to finish through contact, and he can post up smaller players.
And you also realize, Richard, when you get older, you just start killing him with your mind, too. He's already got it in his game, but now he's doing the little Kobe. Like, you just see a lot of Kobe in him.
Down.
I love it. Yeah, the game is slowed way down. Like, there's nothing you can do with him.
And that's why he's become so much more efficient. Like, his efficiency numbers the last, couple years have been through the roof.
Yeah, year 10, man. He's learned a thing or two in that decade.
The 3 hardest guys in the league to guard on the same team.
And there you go. Make transition. Sixers, Cavs.
Crazy.
Dwight Howard, who had a monster game. Little big block. Then Matisse Thybulle finishes on the other end. Matt.
Okay, Matisse.
This has all been, this whole stretch has been without Joel Embiid. How do you feel about the Sixers? I don't want to say supporting cast with Ben Simmons still there, but
this is very valuable, especially leading into the playoffs. Obviously, Embiid's health is the key to this team making a run, but when you get guys that aren't going to get as many minutes or as many quality touches and quality minutes heading into the playoff, it's only going to help this team.
Exactly right.
Yeah, and one of the things that they talked about Joel Embiid is just, look, when he comes back, they want him to stay back.
Right.
So when your team is playing this well, take your time.
Yep.
Get your rest. Same with, Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis.
You've
all those
met
guys.
Joel before, though.
Take your time. I know.
Every day. When can I come back? When can I come
he's
back?
fighting for an MVP, too.
This breathing room. First half, Steph puts a flurry of moves on Bam Adebayo before hitting the 3. But second half, with the game on the line here, switch over, check out Bam.
Look, I swear to you, I did this game last night, and when I saw this, it literally looked like Kevin Love out there trying to chase around Bam. But this was so quick. But watch, it's almost the exact same shot that Steph ends up forcing. He gets rid of the ball and then gets it back. But it's the same type of shot. And that's what makes Bam so valuable. When the greatest shooter we've ever seen, if you're able to force him into that type of shot late game, that's why Bam is special. Bam is different.
I mean, you expect Steph to make shots when you're able to stop him from doing that, and you're a big, very impressive.
Yep. Now, I will say, even the way he took that shot off balance, off angle with Bam in his face, I was like, I that could easily go in.
I'm still betting on Steph.
Because it's Steph Curry, but obviously Bam made it too hard for him. There you go. All right, I want to move on to 2-time Finals MVP Kevin Durant. Part of his first public comments since injuring his hamstring in February. He also addressed a feud with actor and comedian Michael Rappaport that was made public by Rappaport this week. Rappaport posted private messages he said Durant had sent him, including some language that was threatening, some slurs. Here's Durant yesterday. Take a listen.
What's your response to the reaction to the social media messages that were made public on social media?
I'm sorry that people seen that language I use. That's not really what I want people to see and hear from me. But hopefully I can move past it and get back out on the floor.
All right. In addition to that, Nets coach Steve Nash said the organization had a conversation with Durant about the language. Matt, what's your reaction?
This really bothers me. And I actually had a conversation with Michael Rappaport because he's a friend, and obviously KD is a brother of mine. So to me, you don't poke a bear and then when he reacts, expose it to the world. If this was a conversation that was had on social media, it should have stayed there. Don't expose it.
And by the way, in private on social media.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? So to me, you're exposing a conversation. Granted, things were said that probably shouldn't have been said, and I'm sure, Kevin, is sorry about that. But at the same time, people always want to talk about how sensitive KD is, but if no one understands but him how hard it is to have the world always coming at you. And I'm not mad that he fights back. You know what I mean? You can say what you want about him fighting back. I'm not mad. I fight back still, and I'm not even on his level. So when you try to poke a bear and get a response, for you to expose that to the world, I just didn't agree with that. And what I'm saying now, I told to Mike Rappaport as well. Like, to me, keep that private. If you want me to hook both of you guys up so you can get on a call and try to fix it, but don't expose this to the world.
Well, and look, Rappaport is one of those individuals that is known for poking bears.
Right.
Like, that's who he is. That's how he makes his living. That's
right.
part of, like...
I'm not even mad at the hustle.
You're not mad at the hustle. If that's what he has said things to me personally that I was like, okay, so these are one of the things that you would like to personally address. You would never say these things to my face. Right. But my point is that Rappaport, if you're going to be that type of individual and then someone confronts you privately, regardless of what they're saying, and his remarks were just, inappropriate. But, like, yes, you should not air that out to the public, because all of a sudden, all the trust that Rappaport is getting, like you said, you've worked with him. He's worked with the G League. Yeah. He's worked with a ton of people, and he has that respect. You start to lose that respect.
Absolutely.
Especially when you go at one of the stars and studs in our league, and that doesn't excuse Kevin Durant for his language, and I'm glad that he apologized and addressed it.
I thought Kevin, his comments were totally, I appreciated what he said, and I think we will all move on now from here. I want to move on to this. This is really huge. ESPN baseball reporter Jeff Passan tweeting, quote, "Huge news. Major League Baseball announces it will be moving the All-Star game from Atlanta in response to the new voting laws passed by Georgia." Major League Baseball released this statement, quote, "Over the last week, we have engaged in thoughtful conversations with clubs, former and current players, the Players Association, the Players Alliance, among others, to listen to their views. I have decided the best way to demonstrate our values as a sport is by relocating this year's All-Star game and the draft. Major League Baseball fundamentally supports voting rights for all Americans and opposes restrictions at the ballot box." Matt, you have been so heavily involved in the past year in the initiative to get people out to vote, and then fighting against people trying to take away American citizens' rights to participate in democracy, which, make no mistake, that is what has been going on here.
Insane. But this is big to me from a standpoint of baseball is America's passport. You know what I mean? They're supposed to represent America. You know what I mean? So for them to step to the forefront and say, what you're doing is wrong, you're trying to take people's rights away, so we're going to take our business away because for some reason you're the only people that think this is okay. And granted, there's other states doing it, and hopefully everyone has to get this backlash. But it's crazy to me that we finally came together as just a unit, everyone, and came out and voted, that now they want to make it harder to vote. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, and look, when you have to understand, and it's not even a Republican or a Democrat thing, it's like everybody. We're trying to make it easier for everyone to vote. And then there's a group of people that believe, well, these people shouldn't vote, or this needs to be. I understand. But once you start taking things away, and it's just like anything, okay, if that's what you want to do. And if you look at it, the Delta CEO criticized what was going on. And then all of a sudden, the Georgia State Senate tried to pass and take away a tax break that Delta was going to get. So it's funny that, like, people that might complain about this, they looked at the Georgia State Senate was like,
we're doing the same thing. If you don't agree with us, we're taking something away.
If you don't agree with us, we're going to take away this tax break. And then Major League Baseball steps up and is like, well, if you're going to take away something, we can play the takeaway game. And that's where it becomes petty. It becomes petty, and it becomes bad for everyone. The businesses in Georgia, all of the employees, all of the people, like an All-Star game or a Super Bowl or an NBA All-Star game, it generates billions of dollars for the economy. This is not an Olympics where you have to build a ton of stuff. They use the facilities there, and it just generates money for the income. So all of the people in Georgia, notice what's going on. Like, a lot of money and opportunity was lost for your state because of this situation.
Salute to MLB.
Absolutely. I have a lot of respect for Major League Baseball here. And you just have to look at the photo. This photo, to me, just kind of says, there you go. Photo's worth 1,000 words, right? This is the group of people older white men who took away some of the access to voting for people who do